Welcome to another episode of the Forgotten Athlete podcast. We are back. Tandem is back. Zach is back with me. Thank you for everybody joining in. Thank you for tuning in. We had a great off season. Now the season is back. We're kind of inconsistent with the off season a little bit, and that's honestly on me. I was doing a lot of traveling and stuff, so um, yeah, we are back to being consistent, the consistent tandem. We're gonna do some things different. As I mentioned earlier during last week's episode, where we're gonna be having Bears only podcast, where we're just talking about the Bears week in and week out throughout the season. Mainly because of our Caleb Williams video, got a lot of views, and they got a lot of a lot of growth, and we want to reward the Bears as well as the fan base. If they're going to be listening, we want to make you guys we want to make some good content for you guys. And also we want to be also I want to be right about my prediction. So if I play this right, I could be on first things first with Nick Wright debating him when the Bears and Chiefs play the Super Bowl. So that's neither here or there. We got Zach back. Zach, how's it going? How you been?
Man, things things been great. A lot of off-season activity in the NFL. So it was pretty fun time off, I guess, since we last discussed. There's a lot of stuff that happened.
Yeah,
So yeah, USA won gold. Steph Curry went crazy. We saw
yeah,
how Kirk can't coach. I mean, yeah, just a bunch of stuff.
yeah. Well, let's get into it. Let's get into the Bears only section. If you are a Bears fan, you're gonna like this because this is our expectations for the Bears. Obviously, I put that they're going to the Super Bowl. In terms of that was more of a hypothetical, but it's honestly became a belief after watching the Hard Knocks series, as well as just watching Caleb against the Bills. He dude looked like a pro, and I mean the Brett Favre flick, the extending the plays. He does look so good. So first off the bat, what are your expectations for Caleb Williams this year, personally, as just as a quarterback? And then secondly, what are your expectations for the Bears season this year?
Not as high as you are. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but the kid is a rookie. I mean, at the end of the day, yesterday we got some news about his receiving core, which seemed deep coming into the season. But Keenan Allen, there's some news about him gaining a bunch of weight and taking it easy, or falling in love with that deep dish a little bit too much out there. But the defense late in the year really kind of came together with like as a group, played a lot better towards the end of the year. I expect that to roll over. The offense is where I expect to have a few issues. I'm still not sold on a defensive coach, sitting down and having conversations about what he should
Yeah,
and should not
yeah,
do
yeah. We're
for the
gonna get to
offense.
that. We're
That
we're,
one's
we're gonna get to that.
there's some friction there for me. I
Yeah,
know Tom Brady and it worked with Tom Brady and Belichick, right? But at the same time, if you look at the coordinators that they had, Charlie Weiss, McDaniels. I mean, it was pretty solid uh, offensive coordinators that they had. So that's my one feedback. I will say I don't know how I think the offense is going to start slow, which I'm not going to be like crazy on him. I mean, he can't be too hard. He's only a rookie. He made a bunch of mistakes last year at USC. So yeah, what I don't know, 4,000 yards. I think that seems to be something that is in
the
debate
first
right now
the first
because the
ever
Bears
Bears
never had
quarterback.
it.
Yeah,
So could he do that? He gets the extra game. I do think it was cool that he slid in the game. So it shows that he can get down. Um, he's not a big guy.
he looks
So
big when he's running, but I think because he wears a flak jacket, he has to be wearing a flak
he's
jacket.
like six. I'm talking about the height wise. He's like six
No,
one,
yeah,
six
yeah,
two.
yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
he's
just
not
meant
like
like
a
weight wise, he does
Josh
look.
Allen type guy by any means.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Wait, what are your thoughts on? I know you're much higher.
Yeah, I think the team's going to be impressive, and the more I'm watching the Hard Knocks, the more I'm getting excited about this team. I will say, and like I said, we'll get to the Hard Knocks, series, just kind of discussing it, but my expectation for this team has only gotten higher. Like I think this team can go above and beyond. Now, their division's gonna be tough. They got, I think, the toughest division in the NFC. I think, in my opinion, they have three teams who are more than likely going to make playoffs, with the Bears being one of them, the Lions being another one, and then the Packers being another one. So when you have that kind of competing against, it's going to be tough, right? Luckily, they have some really good games to kind of start the season off where they aren't like, they're not playing the Niners week one like they were a few years ago. Although they did beat the Niners week one, yeah, Justin Fields. But I say this to say that. I say that to say this. I think Caleb Williams. I don't think it's I think I was talking. I think I was listening to Eric Mangini on the Colin Cowherd show, and he was saying he doesn't want Caleb to do too much because he says when he was managing like a quarterback, like, and he compared Brett Favre, but he's like, when I was managing Brett Favre, obviously Brett Favre was further in his career, but it was just about Brett Favre, like the defense being so good that, hey, all you got to do is get first downs for us, and you know what, we'll take care of it, and extend the drives and whatnot. So I think Caleb Williams is going to take a lot of risk. He's going to obviously throw a lot of interceptions this year. I think it's just going to happen. My thing is just him about bouncing back, right? How are you going to bounce back from those interceptions? The only concern I have, and this is my main concern I've been having all offseason with this team, is their coach. I think that's where our next conversation gets to. But just to finalize my expectations, I think the team makes the playoffs this year. I think Caleb gets 4,000 plus yards. I think DJ Moore. I think Keenan Allen gets back on track. Keenan Allen, I actually don't mind him not playing as much in the preseason as well as in practice, because I feel like that's where he got in trouble with this, like, past seasons, and he would never finish the season strong, or he would never finish the season in general. Like, he would always be hurt. So you know what? Maybe this is new for them. Maybe the Bears are noticing something. Hey, you're 32 years old. We got you for 1 year. Let's take it light in the beginning of the season, and then towards the end of the season, let's kind of ramp it up.
Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. I could see that working like that. I did notice, though, you did throw a little shade. Bear fans might be a little upset with you, Joseph, in saying that he's gonna throw Caleb's gonna throw a bunch of interceptions.
I mean, I think it's. I think what over under 12. I think it's going to be over, right?
I don't know what the over under is, but I would.
No,
If
no, no.
it's
I'm
12,
not.
I would
No,
say
I'm
you an
asking you.
over.
Yeah, I'm asking you. I don't know either. I'm just saying. I'm asking you. I think 12 is a good number. Like, I'm
Well,
pretty sure he's
he's
going to
gonna
throw
have to
more than
figure
12.
out. It's like I think it was McCarthy who they talked about McCarthy early on. I know it's not the same, but it's rookie quarterbacks
Yeah,
when they're playing in the preseason. There was a throw on like the sideline where he threw the interception, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I can't throw that way in this sport. In
yeah, but
college, you
he
can get
said
away
that.
with it.
Yeah,
In the
yeah,
NFL,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I mean? And
yeah.
it's just
Because
like I think
he
that's
was talking to Roman
the
Duze
problem.
about that. He was like, remember, like,
Yeah.
in the back of the end zone, though, he was talking to Roman
Oh,
Duze
okay.
about that. He's like, no, my bad. I totally cut you off. But I
So
was just
yeah, so
saying,
he no, to your point. Yeah, I didn't catch that. So that's good that he's noticing. It's like he'll find that out, throughout this year. Which is
yeah.
why I'm not like. Which is why I mean Super Bowl. I mean that
Hey,
division's like brutal. Luckily, McCarthy got hurt. I mean, like I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's just I think the Vikings could have taken another step that they
yeah,
can
I
with
think Vikings are going
Darnold.
to be good this year.
You know, but I think with
Darnold,
Darnold, I think they're going to be a 7-win team, 8-win team, maybe max.
I,
Where I think with McCarthy, they probably could have squeaked out 10.
what do you
Um,
do if you're the Vikings? If you're the Vikings, I know this is Bears only, but I just got a question. Like, what if the Vikings only win like 3, 4 games, and like Shaq, Shador Sanders is right there at number one? Like, what do you do? I mean, because McCarthy
I
wasn't
mean,
really.
I'm
They
not.
didn't
Are
want
you? Are
McCarthy. I
you?
don't think.
Are you
In my
high
opinion,
on? Are you high on Shador? I'm not.
I'm not as high on him as others are, but
I'll keep
like,
McCarthy, and you know how I stand with McCarthy.
okay, yeah,
It's
okay. Just
like
wanted
I'm
to
not
ask.
even a
Just wanted
huge
to ask.
fan
Just wanted to
because I
ask. See
don't
what
want
your
that to.
sentiment was.
Sanders is going to be, in my opinion, this is my opinion. He's going to be. Um, I can see him having a difficult time coming into a locker room. Like when you have these dads that are really loud, like we think Lonzo Ball, like on Lakers type deal. Like these obnoxious fathers who are just really, really loud. I mean, I just don't. I get out of it. I fell for it once with Lonzo. I'm not doing it again. Which is
Yeah,
probably why I have to feed my sentiment about Caleb because his
yeah.
dad's just really loud.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. All right, let's get on to the Hard Knocks episode. And we'll just talk about them in general, not one by one. First off, I like this Hard Knocks. This is really good. We're getting a lot more insight into the conversation, I think, than last year with was it the Jets or who was it last year? It was the Jets, right? It was
For
the
Hard
Jets, right?
Knocks,
It
it
was
was
Jets
Jets.
last year.
We
Yeah,
saw Aaron Rodgers and Sauce doing the
yeah,
little handshake.
yeah. I think we're getting a little bit more insight in the players and like the decisions making and whatnot than last year, which is fine. Like even the New York Giants one was that was the best Hard Knocks we had seen in a long time. Now, I mean, like we discussed, like you may think you can do the job at the end of the day, right? His job, but it was good to kind of get that insight. But first thoughts, Eberflus talking to Caleb Williams with those one-on-one meetings. I don't understand them. I don't know what they're for. It's Caleb Williams seems bothered by him, right? Am I reading that right? Does he doesn't seem like
Well,
he's
it's
into him.
gotta. I mean, respectfully, like this, I'm not trying to be disrespectful on the Bears coach at all. He went from sitting in a meeting room with Lincoln Riley to Eberflus. I mean,
Yeah,
that's. I mean,
it's a
I
downgrade.
think. Well, it's just they offensively speaking, I think Eberflus knows a ton more defensive stuff. I mean, he played what linebacker, right? In college and stuff. So like he knows
For
the
Nick
defensive
Saban.
side of
Yeah.
it with Nick Saban, yeah. But Nick Saban is coaching him up too. You saw that when Nick Saban was telling him, "Hey, I want to be right there in my quarterback's ear and stuff." Um, but even when you think of Saban and the good quarterbacks, I'm not talking about like the McElroys who were just game managers. Thinking about like the Bryce Young and the
To
Tua,
yeah,
um,
Jalen Hurts.
they
Yeah,
those guys had solid offensive coordinators.
yeah.
So
I mean, they had
that's
yeah.
that's the thing for me. Like, yeah, I mean, so the Bears might get. I don't know. I mean, do you know who their coordinator is? I don't know. I didn't catch
Bears
that when
coordinator
you watched it because
is the
I didn't
guy
see him.
from
Did you see him?
let me double check his name. I forget his name, but let me see.
Is it Shane Waldron? No,
Shane Waldron. That
that
yeah,
is him
yeah, yep,
or
yep,
no?
yep, yep. It is him. Yeah, because he
Okay,
came from Seattle, right? I think it was Seattle. I want to say, or
Seattle. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, yeah,
Seattle,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You saying
yeah,
that?
yeah. I want to say Seattle. Let me just double check. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He was with
Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
could be good for him. I don't know.
yeah.
We'll see.
I'm in agreement with you here. I think he's go. He's the stuff he's saying. I think is just and listen. They're giving up extra. They're giving us excerpts of the meeting, so we're not getting the full totality of everything. But like
Yeah.
I think what we're seeing is Caleb needs someone on his level. Like Mahomes has Andy Reid. Josh Allen has or had uh Brian
The
DeBoer.
dude with the giant
Ken
day
Dorsey.
ball. Day ball.
He Dayball, sorry. He even has Ken Dorsey in his ear. And now he's had what was the guy from the LSU who was OC over there? So he's had these guys in
Oh
here too.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
forget his name, but as much as um the Bills coach is I can't think of the Bills coach name. I don't know why. David McDermott. As much as he is involved in like kind of building the culture of it, like he knows what he knows. And I don't know if listen, maybe he does have one-on-one meetings. Maybe every head coach has one-on-one meetings with the quarterbacks. Um, I think Eberflus is doing it, in my opinion, I think Eberflus is doing it more of he wants to build a relationship with Caleb Williams, so it's harder for the Bears organization to fire him,
Oh yeah, I
right?
think that's definitely.
And
I'm 100%. I saw he
okay,
brought Nick Saban, and I knew
yeah,
exactly what he was doing.
yeah,
He's
right,
like, I'm
like
bringing in like.
yeah,
I understand we got this Ferrari, and I got to coach him like a
yeah,
Ferrari. If they see
exactly,
me drive, like if they see me driving this Ferrari like a Corolla, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we got to get out of here. This guy doesn't
yeah,
know what he's doing. He can't handle it. It's too much
yeah,
power for him." So yeah,
yeah,
I definitely caught that. I was
because
cracking up
yeah,
laughing. I was like, "Dude, this guy really." He's. I mean, I would do the same thing. I'm not hating on him.
yo, me neither,
Get
but
you,
it's
yeah,
just funny to see,
get you a coordinator that worked under a defensive coach before in Waldron. He's not bad. We saw the Seahawks do
yeah.
pretty good with him, right? Geno Smith. He revived Geno Smith, but yeah. If you look at the offense, though, think about it. I mean,
They're
not
they're
Juju.
talented.
They had Jackson. They had Jackson Smith and Jubu, who didn't do anything last
Are you
year.
talking about Seattle? Talking about
You know
Seattle.
what I mean? Seattle, right? So I'm like, okay, that tells me one of these receivers. I don't know if it's a
It's
Dunze,
gonna be Rome. I think Roman Diggs is
Allen.
gonna be the
It's
receiver
gonna be
who's not
somebody.
gonna.
One of them is just gonna be. But if you look at the training camp leaks that's coming out, he's been doing crazy good. Like that's the
Well, Keenan Allen's not. To our point with Keenan Allen, he's
yeah.
not getting much work, and when he does get work, he's
So
working with Jalen Johnson.
so it's Keenan Allen, the guy who's we think is just gonna be like third down,
I
come to
yeah,
Keenan. But
I
maybe
think
they're
DJ
gonna
Moore is
kind
going
of
to be the
phase him.
target. I think DJ Moore is going to be the target
Oh, I
eater
think
for
DJ
sure in
Moore's
the
the
offense.
yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
they
yeah.
paid him to, and DJ Moore. I think he has not gotten a lot of credit for how good of a receiver he is. The production he does with the, with the obviously he gets a lot of output, but just who's throwing him the ball is not the best. Like
Yeah.
I don't think he's at the top.
Watch
Has he had a top
watching him get
20
paid was
quarterback?
cool.
Has he had a top 20 quarterback in this league?
Did he get it? What the Baker's probably the best one that he played with?
Did he? Oh, he played Baker.
You know what I
In
mean?
Carolina.
In
Is
Carolina, like
Baker?
that was his best quarterback.
I mean, Baker's good now, but was he a top 20 quarterback then? No, I don't think. I don't, top, we got you up top 20 to top
He was on
25.
the like he's on
And
the
Division
bubble.
Moore is, huh? Who?
Baker Mayfield. I feel like he would have been on the bubble right around there,
Yeah.
somewhere
We could.
between.
I mean, yeah, like 20, 25 in that range. Like
Yeah, I think Sunday's Baker.
maybe even
I
the
think 'cause
team.
we gotta put some respect on Baker's name. He
Yeah,
did take a 0 and
yeah,
16 team to the
to the
playoffs and
playoffs.
beat the
Yeah,
Mike
so
Tomlin loved Pittsburgh
yeah,
Steelers. Like he did that.
someone
Deshaun
was
Watson's still
comparing.
searching for a win. It's
Who was I
pretty
listening
remarkable.
to? Someone was comparing. I think it might have been Jaden Daniels to Baker Mayfield, like saying like just off of career trajectory, like where they came from. Ended up winning Heisman's and whatnot,
Baker was a
and being
walk on twice. I think
yeah.
that's the
Well, I mean ASU. I mean, although he was, I mean Jaden Daniels
he
was.
he was he was Joseph. It was a day one starter.
Yeah, that's true.
he had the
That's true.
keys to the
He was a
car
freshman starter.
handed to him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, true
Yeah, I
freshman.
don't
Not
know.
even like he was a true freshman when I
Yeah,
watched him at Arizona, and he was playing great. I'm
yeah,
not
he played good. Yeah,
no
throwing the burn
shade
out.
there. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was really
I
good there.
think I think one thing on the Hard Knocks is and this is where it gets back to just the overall feel of the team is we're getting a really
Yeah,
good and the production quality of HBO or I guess info film whoever's doing it. Um, this we're getting a really good understanding of what this team's identity is going to be. Like they're going to pass the ball a lot more times than they've ever passed the ball.
which is really odd when you have a defensive coach, but I get it. You gotta
I
drive
think
Caleb.
I think they may lead the league in most passing attempts because they're not really. I mean, obviously they got that running back battle, Velus Jones being a running back and whatnot. DeAndre
That's
Swift.
yeah. I want to
But
see how that plays out.
their running back room is not as strong as I thought. Like on paper, like Roshan Johnson, DeAndre Swift. Who else is the other guy?
Homer, they
Oh yeah,
brought Homer
Homer.
in,
I think
right?
yeah. So is Khalil Herbert on that team? I think right. He's on that team, right?
He's still
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I'm pretty sure Khalil Herbert's on that team too. So it's
Yeah,
just
for
a
him to
matter
talk for
of
10 years now.
yeah. So that running back room is not as deep as the receiver room is, and also the tight end room, Cole Kmet. So and their old line's pretty good too. I think the biggest question is, and what they haven't really gone over is the center position. So I don't know if you know this, but their center that they got, the center that's playing center right now is actually a former guard. He was not supposed to play center. They had drafted a center last year, and he was supposed to start this year, but he ended up getting hurt. And now they are trying to, they're playing, what's a game called when you move the chairs around? What's that game called?
Musical chairs.
Musical chairs. They're playing musical chairs with the center position. So I don't know if you noticed it, but the Hall of Fame game, like Caleb Williams was taking snaps like mid game. I mean not mid game, pre game before the season started. So
Yeah,
they're trying to figure out who the actual quarterback is going to be. I'm sorry, center
center.
of the quarterback is going to be.
Yeah, I got you.
But they haven't talked about that on Hard Knocks. And I think it's a weakness that they have, which is weird that this has not been discussion on Hard Knocks. So kind of figure out how that looks.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that. That's new one for me. Just the first time hearing this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in terms of the Bears defense, I think one of the things that we're seeing here, and I think this is the last thing we'll talk about for the Bears for this week, and obviously next week we'll cover the opening week about to happen, and just the pregame. Oh, you know what? Sorry, one last thing on the Bears too. Sorry, I wanted to discuss his Caleb Williams versus the Bears. But one thing we're seeing on the defense is I don't, either Jalen Johnson is the best cornerback in the game,
which he's really
he,
darn
he
good.
he's one of them, or
He's really darn good.
the Bears receiving core isn't as good as we think. This guy's locking up
He's
everybody,
really
and
good.
and he wasn't. I didn't realize he wasn't top 100.
Very
player.
underrated.
I didn't
Very
realize
underrated.
that. How is he not top 100? I don't understand that.
I actually people overlook him because he's not loud. Because that's typically a position. Like, who was on the top 100? I didn't. Let's see.
Sauce
Top
Gardner.
100.
I mean, he was one of them.
Loud.
Yeah.
Because like remember last year we were hearing all the news that Sauce Gardner was overrated.
Yeah, and then he came back
That's
and
all
he
I
did
heard.
the same thing. So, yeah, I mean, the top 100. Yeah, I would check cornerbacks. I think there was Denzel Ward was on the list, but he doesn't talk that much. Denzel Ward, he's not
Denzel
really
Ward's
loud.
nice too, man. He's nice
Yeah.
too. But he'll hit too.
Yeah,
You'll
he's
see
so
Denzel Ward light people up.
He's small, but he's small. But he plays big. He's like, yeah, I like that.
Maybe that's what they're looking for. Because I'm looking at 91 Tyreek Woolen for the Seahawks. He's on the list, but again, he hits people. He lights people up.
Well, he was higher.
So
he had to be higher last year. He had to be higher
He
last
was
year.
rookie last year.
Well, no, yeah, I'm saying last year he did better than this year in terms of his performance. Yeah, I think the highest rated cornerback. We're trying to look up the highest rated quarterback. I don't know why we're doing this, but just fun.
It's fun.
But
I'm curious because I'm trying to think.
we're trying to figure out.
I don't know. Because I'm trying to think. If I said top 5 corners, I don't know if I could.
You see, you're right. It goes back to names. Jalen Ramsey. He was number 25. Is Jalen Ramsey?
Didn't he get exposed? I feel like he got exposed last year a lot.
Yeah, well, he didn't play that much last year because he got hurt. But also, yeah, he's number 25 on the list. Yeah, that's crazy. I knew this was trash when I seen Aaron Rodgers had made the list. I was like, what the heck? A-Rod made the list.
Yeah, I didn't get Aaron Rodgers being on the list at all. I mean, unless it's just out of respect. He's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah, I think it's out of respect.
Bobby Wagner's still on the list.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, Bobby Wagner did have a pretty solid season last year. He had I think he was like 5th or 6th in tackles.
Patrick Surtain is really good.
Is he? What number is he?
52.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. He should be higher. Or I guess lower.
He's
I
really
guess.
good.
Yeah.
I know.
However you see it. He all right, let's do this. Let's talk about the Bears game versus the Bills. Bears are putting up a lot of points. And I think it cannot be ignored. It goes back to what we were saying, how they're going to be an explosive outputting offense. We saw last year, like they wanted to pass the ball. It's just Justin Fields can't pass the ball.
He can't see.
Yeah, and I mean he fumbled snaps, which we saw him do that against with the Steelers. First team possession does that, but Caleb Williams looked good. I think he was like 6. I think he only had 1 incompletion. Don't have the numbers in front of my face. Sorry. He had like 90+ yards. The one thing I did want to say is why didn't the Bears go for it? So the Bears on their first drive, they went down. They got down to like the 18 or 16-yard line, and it was 4th and 9, and they decided to kick the field goal. I'm just curious why they didn't go for it. But that was the only thing I had a question mark on. Like, hey, just go for it. You got nothing to lose. Just see what Caleb can do on this 4th and 9. Like, see what he does. So that was the only thing. And then back to the play that I was talking about earlier, where Caleb was trying to communicate with Roman Dunze on what to do. It's clear that Roman Dunze is, and this is a lot of people's knock on him. Not really a knock, but just like something that he needs to get better at is his ability to kind of like move around, like scramble drill type of thing. Like that's why Malik Neighbors was high on people's list. Is like, when the play's broken, like what do you do? Like as a receiver, like when your go route isn't there, and your quarterback's trying to make some time, and you want to find an open window, how do you find it? And I think Roman Dunze needs to improve at that, and because Caleb Williams was trying to tell him that during the play, he was like, hey, he was like, I need you. He's like the quarterback was coming to you. He's like, you had all the momentum. All you had to do was come towards towards the sideline, and that ball was right there for you. That's one thing about Caleb Williams. I feel like he doesn't think he makes mistakes. He seems pretty arrogant, but like in a non-cocky way about it. I don't know.
No, I think that's why they have the guys do the rookie like hazing where they sing. Because then you find out, hey, Caleb can't sing. So
Yeah,
like you're not
and it
perfect,
doesn't
dude.
know
Like calm down.
doesn't know the lyrics. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
my first. That was my impression off of the game.
Well, I think it's probably going to. I think this is why preseason games are so cool for, especially for the younger guys, because they can. Caleb is coming from an offense in college where he was able to do that. If you look
Mhm.
at Adunze, he didn't do that.
No, yeah,
Penix looked great. Penix looked great. You watch the Falcons? Penix looked great
yeah.
this past weekend.
He's
So
a
you
six
saw
six Tua.
3-step drop, 5-step drop. It's like it's coming out. It's
Yeah,
there's no and it's on the money every time. So I think that's just going to take some getting used to for a Doomsday. And if
yeah.
he does unlock that, like Joseph, if he does unlock that, it could be pretty special down the road.
And even DJ Moore, he's played with so many bad quarterbacks where like it's almost like he's perfected
He's so
doing
used to taking.
that.
He's so used
Where
to
he's
doing
like, oh,
it.
you need me
And
to do this? And
so he stays around a lot of scrimmage, and he's
yeah,
like, "I got to break 10 tackles to score."
yeah. So yeah. All right. Well, that's our Bears content for the day. I guess for the week. Any last thoughts on the Bears or anything you want to add that we didn't get to talk about?
No, I think we can leave it up to the comment section. Like, just suggest some ideas for us to discuss on the Bears topics because this is something we're going to focus on all season long.
Yeah, yeah. Most likely, our content is going to be circle around the games. But if there's things happening in the Chicago area that we should know about, if there's things that we want to, people want to, want us to shout out, tailgate things like that. Obviously, I'm not going to Soldier Field in December when it's -2. I did that when I went to Green Bay a few years ago, and it was not a great experience being in that weather. But yeah, until next time, guys, please like, subscribe, share, and yeah, thank you. See you guys next time.